You know, I was talking to a guy that I know, and wealthy guy, and he had somewhere in the region of 55 bitcoins. Um, and when I say he had, you already know what I mean. He sold them, right? So I was talking to him. I was like, "Why did you sell your bitcoins? What was it?" And he said it was a couple different reasons, right? He made a profit on them, so he was happy, but he was thinking very small. He sold them because someone in his circle told him that Bitcoin's going to crash and you'll be able to buy it a lot cheaper, et cetera, et cetera. And I think he sold at, I don't know, 23,000 or something like that, um, thinking it was going to absolutely dump. And obviously it went down to 15 and a half, but he thought it was going to go down lower, so he didn't execute his purchase again. And at this point, he's very, very happy with the deal that he made. He bought it years ago, so he's happy with the amount of money, quote unquote, money, because it's truly currency, not money that he's made. He's exchanged his Bitcoin for dollars, and he doesn't realize that the Bitcoin that he sold is never going to see the light of day ever again. So he's fallen for the scam, right? He's fallen for the gig. Um, And that's heartbreaking because one of these days, a spot Bitcoin ETF is going to be approved and the earth will shift from under your feet with the amount of capital that will be unlocked. And that's what most people don't realize. This is an asset that goes way beyond you making a 300% return. This is not that. This is the idea of this is extremely unique. And it hurts me when I see people who are just around the wrong group of people, around a group of people who are not focused, don't see the true focus and vision of what the potential is in the market, and then they sell their Bitcoin, and then they sell their asset that is the scarcest asset on earth, and they had it in their hands, right? It's like Gollum having the ring, my precious, right? They sell that because of the people that they are around. It's quite interesting. The people that you choose to be around will be the number one determining factor on whether you become successful. No, I had a mentor of mine tell me that when I was very young. I obviously started working and doing things when I was 16 years old. And this mentor of mine always told me is the people is what matters. Everything else you can figure out. You can make money in real estate, stocks, this business, that business, whatever. The people is what actually matters. The people that you're around, the people that are allowing you to bounce ideas off of them, the people that that's what's actually important, because with the right group of people you can get anything accomplished. So it's really interesting to me when I see stories of people that sold their Bitcoin because somebody else told them to and they believed it. That's fascinating to me, right? Because really what you're saying is you don't understand the true finality of this asset, the true finality of the scarcity of this asset, the fact that there are only 21 million Bitcoin ever. That's what Bitcoin gives you. A lot of people think this is like Bitcoin is the thing, and it's not. It's never the thing, right? Because as you saw during the pandemic, suddenly Rolexes, Patek Philippe's, Audemars Piguet's became the thing, right? So it's not really ever the thing. It's not about Bitcoin in essence. It's about the truth of the scarcity of the asset. It's not about real estate. The only reason people buy real estate is because it's hard to build homes. That's the only reason people buy it. The only reason people buy stocks is because it's hard to build companies. It's about the scarcity of the underlying asset than the asset itself. So yes, I'm sure there are people, who are completely sold and enamored by the idea of Bitcoin and what it does, but really what they're in love with is the scarcity underlying it. That's really what it is. They're not in love with the, with Orange Coin and all the miraculous thing. Yeah, sure, there is an element of that, but it's truly driven by the scarcity. That's the reason why you buy houses. That's the reason why you buy stocks. It's the reason why you buy Rolexes. It's the reason why you do anything. It's the scarcity. The very reason why life has value and meaning is because of its scarcity. And now we live in a world where our lives can be extended out for hundreds of years based on social media. So therefore, what's happening? People are valuing their lives less, right? They're taking life less seriously. They are making decisions that are not good for life because the value for their life has gone down because they can extend it out. They feel like they live multiple lives. They're in the metaverse here. They're in the Instagram metaverse. They're in the TikTok metaverse. They're in all these metaverses living their life, and they don't realize that the one life I have is what generates the meaning of this. It's why this is scarce. The scarcity creates the value, right? And it's always human beings pursuing true finality of scarcity. And right now, there's less people that get it. Of course, people watching this YouTube channel probably get it. And I would highly urge you to please subscribe to the videos, because the faster you subscribe, the faster YouTube shows this video to more people. So I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe. But really, it's about the true finality of scarcity. Everything else is, Bitcoin is just Bitcoin is the vehicle for the true finality of scarcity in this scenario, and we're very, very happy that it's this vehicle. But I guarantee you, if the vehicle was different with true finality of scarcity, we'd be running after that vehicle too. It's not really about the Bitcoin; it's about the vehicle. Rather, it's about the scarcity. It's not really about the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is just a vehicle. And the reason why that's important is because you can feel that once you've got this true finality and this true scarcity, it feels like you can actually protect the value of the energy that your soul wants to put into the world. Because up until now, you haven't had the ability to do that. You work, you create value, cool, people appreciate it. They give you some currency for it. That currency gets devalued. You put it into real estate. There's more money printing than the price of real estate going up. You put it into stocks, the same shit. So there's never been any money on earth that actually creates meaning. Bitcoin is money that creates meaning and allows meaning to happen. Everything else is just frivolous bullshit. And again, I say one of these days, a spot Bitcoin ETF is going to be approved, and the earth will shift from under your feet with the amount of capital that's going to be unlocked. And at that point, it will be too late. It will be too late. You have to understand there's only 21 million Bitcoin in the world. Yeah, each one can be divided into 100 million parts, but there's only 21 million Bitcoin. There's 55 million millionaires in the world. And now you're about to unlock an ETF capital that is going to, it's going to be a wall of money. I've heard that phrase before. Yeah, it's going to be a tsunami of money that's going to be flowing into Bitcoin because of this ETF. And at that point, the very day, now price action might not, respond on the day that it launches, but on the day that it is approved, you are going to sense capital start to move. Look what's happened since then. We've got BlackRock jumping behind it, right? It's now ESG friendly, according to KPMG. You don't think that's going to continue? I predicted that we'll have a positive Bitcoin environmental article within 6 months of that KPMG piece. And I still believe that's coming, right? And you bet yourself when there's an ETF, there'll be a positive piece on Bitcoin and its environmental benefits. And ultimately, if you're sitting there going, oh, maybe I should buy some Bitcoin, you got to realize that Bitcoin, because of the scarcity nature of Bitcoin, Bitcoin has a floor price because you can't just print more Bitcoin. There is a floor price because of people like me, people like you, people like other people that will just buy Bitcoin and hold it no matter what because they understand the scarcity of the asset, right? Because of the HODL nation, they have Bitcoin has a floor price. Bitcoin does not have a ceiling price because the price, the demand cannot affect its supply. Therefore, money will be sucked into it because it is a scarce asset and people are understanding it more and more and more. You can't affect the supply of it, therefore it has no ceiling price, but it has a floor price. So to try and debate, like, okay, am I going to get the best price possible? You didn't get the best price possible with any property you bought. You didn't get the best price possible with any stock you bought. And if you did, you were extremely lucky, because people don't do that. The way to make money is to buy, hold, and then hold for a very, very long period of time, right? That leads me on to my three rules of Bitcoin, because these are extremely important and I want you to remember them. And I also want to remind you to please subscribe to this video if you truly understand why you need this asset and you truly want to learn why you need this asset. Subscribe to the channel. And the three rules of Bitcoin are what they are, right? Step number one, you buy Bitcoin. Step number two, shut the fuck up. And step number three, you get fabulously wealthy. Why? Because they want to take your scarcity. That's all they do. They want to take your scarcity. Anything that's scarce, they want to control it. Anything. Why? Because once you control it, you can now ration it. And that's how they keep people trapped. Bitcoin's the first time that you can actually control the scarcity for yourself. And there are people who are missing this opportunity because they don't understand that the scarcity is what's truly valuable. Whether you own real estate, stocks, gold, whatever it is, watches, whatever, it's the scarcity of it that generates the value. And Bitcoin is the scarcest asset on earth. So I want to implore you to take this moment to realize that they want your Bitcoin and they will give you $500,000 for it. Mark my words. One of these days, they will give you $500,000. Within the next decade, they'll give you $1 million for your Bitcoin because they understand that they print the money. So when you print the money, the very thing that's important is the scarcity, because that money that's printed needs to go somewhere. The scarcity is what's important, not the money, the currency that they can just print. So they'll give you $1 million. Oh, you want to be seduced into it? I'll give you $1 million. That's why I'm going to do a video soon on how I plan to spend my Bitcoin without ever selling my Bitcoin. So please subscribe for that too. So ultimately, remember, they will pay you whatever you want for scarcity. It's like when they discover a gold mine, right? They walk in, they're like, okay, cool. What do you want for this land? Oh, you want X? Cool, I'm going to give you X plus 30%, because they understand the value of scarcity. So scarcity is the asset and they want yours. And you finally have an opportunity to control an asset that is actual true finality of scarcity, and you get to control it in your own hands. So take advantage of it and remember the three rules of Bitcoin. Step number one, you buy Bitcoin. Step number two, shut the fuck up. And step number three, you get fabulously wealthy.